Hey guys, hope you are all having a great day. We finally made it to Friday after one really hard week to bear through. I won't hold my words back. If you are still holding amidst everything that went down this week, I have some serious admiration for you. The markets have been crappy, but I think now that the Fed has spoken and that we have the important earnings disclosed, there is good reason to think the worst is behind us, though that's not to say that the road forward is a bunch of green candles. I will talk about this with more detail on the video for Sunday. Today, I just want to talk about some news in the markets, recap how we performed and call it a week. It's been exhausting keeping up with everything happening and I just want to make this video short and get off the internet for the day. I want to thank everyone that has joined my Discord. We are nearing 2,500 members in there. There are tons of cool conversations taking place related to all things related to meme stocks and the market. I want everyone to come on and join us. The Discord is free to join and will be linked in a pinned comment and on the video's description as well. Before we start, let me quickly state that I am not a financial advisor, and that all content discussed in this channel is simply information gathered that I deem important for people to know, so that they can make informed decisions. All efforts are aimed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's dive right in. The Wall Street Journal published a story about infamous hedge fund Melvin and how much money they have lost so far. Gabe Plotkin, the man running Melvin Hedge Fund, has been taking steep losses after his bets against meme stocks such as GameStop backfired. At the worst points during January of 2021, Melvin Capital Management was losing more than $1 billion per day. Plotkin told his employees in a Zoom meeting late in that month that they were in a terrible position, staring death in the face. Melvin Capital Management made it, surviving their worst nightmare after Citadel and .72 hedge funds injected $2.75 billion into Melvin to help them out. Though Melvin survived, the damages done to the company have been severe, mostly because Melvin lost around $6.8 billion during that month. The road to recovery will not be easy. You see, Melvin's plan right now is to recover all the losses they sustained. They charge investors an annual management fee of 2% and take a cut of up to 30% of all profits, one of the highest incentive fees in the entire industry. That can be incredibly rewarding and profitable for the company, but by the same token, very counterproductive if the company underperforms. Melvin has to make back all the losses they had before resuming taking incentive fees from the investors who suffered losses. It will take many years for Melvin to be able to catch up back to where they were. Plotkin has been working hard to improvise his tactics, and one of the biggest changes he made was changing the strategy by which Melvin shorts companies. They now short companies in ways that won't trigger requirements to disclose their positions, therefore reducing the size of the fund's short wagers as a way to minimize the likelihood of investors seeing their short positions and squeezing them. By the end of the year, Melvin was down 39.3%, which showed significant improvement, but this year's start has had them off to a rocky start again. Melvin has lost about 17% in the first 3 weeks of 2022 so far. A horrid tale of how things can easily go wrong for hedge funds. Melvin is very famous in the meme community for being the first hedge fund to almost go out of business. Strong earnings by companies eased inflation fears, lifting the markets up a bit today. The employment cost index came in a bit soft than expected. The S&P 500 finished the week 2.43 up. The Dow Jones gained 1.65 and the Nasdaq Composite Index was up 3.13 up. Apple earnings were a massive success that helped propel us up, and in conjunction with the Microsoft earnings we had, it appears that the markets are starting to ease off on selling and are becoming more confident that the road ahead is not as bleak as it appeared to be back on Sunday. Today, investors were celebrating a year since the time brokers decided to switch off the buy button on meme stocks. There were memes and video compilation of news and events that were taking place exactly 1 year ago today, and it's been amazing to see how far we have come, how quick time passes and how nothing has changed. Robinhood, the most notorious broker out there, had a really bad earnings report yesterday and saw its price valuation fall, though it did recover today. It's crazy to see how this fairly new stock has been in a downtrend ever since its inception. Traders have flocked away from Robinhood, and even board members have also sold their positions. Nothing screams confidence when some of the board members of the company completely sell out all their stocks on the same day that Robinhood goes public. I love that retail traders are sticking it to the big man and sticking by their choices. Lastly, it's been a while since I last gave an Evergrande update. Chinese authorities have been considering a proposal to dismantle Evergrande Group by selling the bulk of its assets. This restructuring proposal, which was submitted to Beijing, calls for the developer to sell most assets except for its listed property management and electric vehicle units. A group led by China Cinda Asset Management will take over any unsold property assets. If this is approved by officials in Beijing, it would mark the biggest step by Xi Jinping's government to prevent what they see as an unavoidable collapse of the most indebted developer from rolling over into the rest of China's financial markets and economy. We have talked about this plenty of times before. China has been meaning to break Evergrande in small chunks to then sell them to smaller companies. That way they can encourage a healthy and balanced market rather than contend with a single property developer that has huge leverage over the economic conditions of the country. Xi Jinping's administration is targeting the biggest companies in the entire country, not just real estate, and they want them broken apart and heavily monitored. Evergrande's default was brought about as a consequence of their mismanagement as well as the changes in policy and regulation that China evoked to cause them to collapse on purpose. I will continue to monitor the situation and keep you guys updated if anything big happens. Let's now talk about today. The Fed submitted over $1.615 trillion in reverse repo operations today. Dark pool trades for AMC accounted for 54% of the total volume today, while dark pool trades for GameStop accounted for 51% of the total volume today. AMC had a larger amount of buy orders than its sell orders, with GameStop also having a larger amount of buy orders than sell orders. Now, let's talk about performance. AMC traded bullishly, gaining over 3% for the day. It began trading weakly during the pre-market, dipping from 14.60 to 14 and staying below the VWAP until we neared the opening of the market. Upon market opening, AMC ran to 14.77 before dipping down to the lowest point of the day at 13.40. It was after reaching this level that AMC began to bounce up, continuing its bullish trajectory all the way until it ran to 15.25. After reaching this high, AMC began to retrace, bouncing on the VWAP around 14.40 to reach a closing price of 15.06, above the VWAP. As for what to expect next week, I will make a video on Sunday talking about what I think is likely to happen. GameStop traded bullishly, gaining over 4% for the day. It opened to a brief run that took it to 97 before it plummeted down to 87.61, the lowest point of the day. After reaching this low, GameStop began to bounce back, reaching 97.43 before retracing a bit. After some consolidation above 94 and a quick dip below it at 92, GameStop began moving up, closing at 97.91, above the VWAP. As for what to expect next week, like I said, I will make a video on Sunday talking about what I think is likely to happen. Today we finish what has been an incredibly stressing week and finally we get to have a small break from it all. I think the worst is officially past us and the markets should begin to slowly recover. It will take some time to get back to where we were, but I have no doubt we will get there in a couple of months. Tons of shares of AMC and GameStop were bought this week, and I am certain that the shorters must not be happy to see thousands of people enthusiastically throw money at these two stocks and grab so many shares. You were all absolutely amazing this week, and I am so proud to belong to such a compelling and strong trading community. Be sure to take some time off to relax and cool down, touch some grass and get away from stocks for the weekend. Take a respite before jumping back into this on Monday, so that you are refreshed. One question I keep getting repeatedly asked is, why didn't stocks shoot up during this market correction? As I said on my Sunday video, we are not going to squeeze on a small and insignificant market correction. I got a lot of heat and hate for saying we were not going to have a market crash and that what we are seeing is not indicative of an imminent crash. A lot of people disagreed with me, but alas, here we are now, already finding a solid floor and starting to move upwards again. Though recovery will not be a quick bounce back, I think it is solid to say markets are beginning to stabilize. There was nothing that was going to happen to meme stocks this week aside from a nice discount, so I don't know why so many were selling the idea that this was the beginning of the end. This is just a bump in a long journey to get to MOASS, and we were never meant to experience a market crash in these conditions. Nothing has changed, buy the dip and hold to the moon, it really is that simple. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you all so much for making it to the end of the video and don't forget to come on over to my Discord. Let me know if you bought today's dip or if you were waiting to see if it falls any further. Thank you all for the love and support you have shown me. I hope to see you tomorrow on the next one. If you want to support this channel, I have a Patreon link in the description as well as some one-time donation links for Cash App and PayPal. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep on buying the dip and to the moon.